Hi, it's Xanthe here. Just wrapping myself in a blanket. Just had a bit of stress because I've had a interview with a psychiatrist. It's actually a really nice psychiatrist. It's a private one, but I did get a bit tearful towards the end. I did a doodle. Just improvised. It kind of looks like leaves and chains. I consulted with a private psychiatrist because of this dog's breakfast of my medical records over the years, and he's the first doctor that's bothered to read them all, because I wanted to review my diagnoses after been in treatment for PTSD for 4 years, and he said, and also wanted to ask about autism and ADHD. I had already figured out that that ADHD is not me, because the similar symptoms I've developed in adulthood are actually not really present in childhood, so it's ruled out immediately. So if you're not aware, if you haven't got features significantly before the age of 12, then it's not ADHD. I'd kind of figured that out. So anyway, it was more conversational because rather than a typical assessment, because he'd already made the medical records and already had concluded from the very solid medical records what he had concluded, and then obviously it was having a talk and answering questions, etc., because I wanted to check whether I stay on medications for bipolar, etc. He said it's very clear to him that I do have bipolar disorder, diagnosed bipolar 1 disorder. I asked him because I was curious, because clinicians were divided about it, whether it was depression and then switched over. He said no, it would have been manifesting first as depression, depressive episodes, and then revealing itself to be bipolar later, is what he believes to be the case. He said that I need to keep taking a mood stabilizer, which I'm currently on one. He suggested 2 alternatives I could try, and if I wanted to change, go back to my mental health services. I already taken one of them in the past. He said that's the next best one, apart from what I'm already taking. I didn't like the other alternative one suggested. I'm taking carbamazepine at the moment. He said valproate was the next best one, he reckons. Valproate made me smell weird. I can smell the chemical of it. It's like my mum. And then lamandrogen or something was one to look up. Never to take an antidepressant ever again, because I gave an too easily on it now. Ironically, after being on antidepressants for most of 20 years. He said I don't have ADHD for the same reasoning as what I just said. He said basically I'm considered to be complicated. So I would be a highly sensitive person, which I already knew. There's a highly sensitive person, personality traits. He said that I am definitely on the autistic spectrum, but not in a diagnostic sort of way, if that makes sense. He said I have clinically significant features, but don't meet threshold of the DSM-5, which is Autism Spectrum Disorder, ASD. He said I wouldn't quite meet the threshold for Asperger's under the DSM-4. He said he hates the DSM-5, by the way. These are all just classification systems, and they have quite a bit of subjectivity with them. He said that I would meet threshold for PDD-NOS, what's it called? Pervasive developmental disorder, not otherwise specified, which is the category that is not meeting enough criteria for any of the other autism spectrum disorders. So basically, this is what upset me. He said the easiest way to describe it would just be to say I'm neurodivergent. I said I hate that word. I said I hate that word because of the mob boys that use that word. I got actually called triggered. They preach about being inclusive of different types of brains, but they go around, on Twitter especially, and mob anyone that has a difference of opinion. And he said I was being quite rigid about it. And I said, well, I used to not be bothered by it, but now I am. I'm bothered by it because of the extremism of these activists. So, anyway, I found the wishy-washiness of that part very... But anyway, talked to him for about an hour and a half because we had answered all my questions because he'd already had lots of medical records in advance to read, you see. So he's going to write me up a letter which just summarises, so it's not going to be a full comprehensive report because to do all that shit, pay way more money. Like he actually ended up just charging me the standard fee, which it's fine by me. It was quite nice of him because he quoted a higher fee because of all the reading. So I'm not going to say who he is because I don't say who my doctors are just because of I don't think you should say who your doctors are because if you get some random troll online pretending to be you or whatever, you know. So yeah, that was pretty much it. It was very, very stressful, but it was very, very respectful compared to some psychiatrists. I thought, you know, like better and better people and manner than some of them. I am hoping that I never have to talk to a psychiatrist ever again. Of course, if this medication of mine starts screwing my liver up too much, starts to distort the liver enzyme or something, you know, maybe look at a change, but there's not really that many options, unfortunately. And it seems to be helping reasonably because I'm not as high as long and not as low as long. And I've written down a term to look up. He said with the manic, some people go manic as a defensive or something, as a defensive thing. So it's very much tangled with the PTSD. Anyway, yeah, just glad to get that over and done with. I mean, doesn't really have much for my ACC shit. I mean, the ACC shit is already in anyway, because he asked about that, and I said, look, I've already submitted everything in anyway. And, there's, you know, I can't really do much about it now. And yeah, just kind of interviews are pretty stressful. So just trying to rest up. Thank you.